Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and in this video, I'm going to be going over a tactic that some of the top players use occasionally, which is having a dedicated rift closer. So let's get into it. One thing I do want to touch on really quick before I dive into the topic is you should never be full clearing rifts. Like if your goal is to be efficient, you want to be closing a rift right when the RG dies. I see this all the time in public games. I'll close the rift after we kill the Rift Guardian, and people in the group are like, what are you doing? We're full clearing. Or this is a really good level. Like, if you're actually trying to be efficient, you want to be spending as much time in greater rifts as you possibly can. Greater rifts give you far more XP. They give you gem levels for augments. They give you tons of legendaries, tons of blood shards. You want to be maximizing your time in greater rifts. So if you're one of those people that's full clearing in public games, I would consider not doing that if your goal is to be efficient. So I wanted to get that out of the way really quick because I see a lot of people doing that in public games. So it's just something I wanted to cover quickly. Now let's get into the rest of it. Alrighty, so first off, what is a rift closer? A rift closer is someone who sits in town while people are clearing rifts to farm GR keystones. And as soon as the Rift Guardian dies, they close the rift. This eliminates the downtime of somebody going to town and walking over to Auric to close the rift. So saves you about 10 seconds to have a dedicated rift closer, and then you don't have to worry about someone going to town like right before the RG and like quitting early to make sure they're there when the RG dies. So it's something that you don't need to worry about if you're just kind of casually playing for fun, but it's something that some of the top players do when they're really trying to min-max and kind of take advantage and close rifts as fast as possible to get as many keys per hour as possible, because over the course of a few hundred hours, it can really add up. So it's just something I wanted to make a video about and go over and kind of, let you know how beneficial it is. Is it beneficial? Should you try it? How does it work? Stuff like that. So I've already got all my notes here, and I'm going to kind of go over the numbers here. So now, standard rift clear speed is probably about 90 seconds. Obviously, it's massively dependent on the group and the build and the map. It can wildly change. But, for, average group, average like T13 farming, you're probably figuring about 90 seconds to clear a rift. And then you'd have, all the downtime and stuff like that. So I'm going to kind of do this here. So if we have no closer, so just a normal rift, we're going to figure 90 seconds to clear the rift. And if we do have a closer, that's not really going to be affected because they're just going to be sitting in town. So we can just move that over here. And then you have 30 seconds of downtime every rift. That's completely unavoidable, just sitting in town. You're waiting for the rift to close or whatever. So we have 30 seconds of downtime, and that's, for both of these. But then with no closer, we've got the 10 seconds of TPing to town and closing the rift, and then that doesn't go over here. So this one is going to be 130 seconds total. And then with a closer is going to be 120 seconds total. So this means that if it takes 130 seconds with no closer, we are clearing 27.7 rifts per hour. And then this is easy math. If it takes 120 seconds, we're clearing 30 rifts an hour. It's really hard to draw with this thing. So on T13, we're getting 2.25 keys per rift. So if we multiply those, we're going to get 62.3 keys per hour over here. And we're going to get 67.5 keys per hour over here. Now, that means that in terms of keys per hour, with no closer, we are minus 5.2. And over here with a closer, we are plus 5.2. Like, that's how they relate to each other. This is 5.2 less than this, and this is 5.2 more than this. So there is two ways that you can go about doing this. You can either have your full group clearing the rift as normal, and then at like 90%, you can send someone to town to be waiting there at Auric. Right when the RG dies, they can click close and then teleport everybody and get the shards and the keys. Or you can have somebody just leeching and like sitting in town, closing the rift for you right when the Rift Guardian dies. So it's kind of a win-win, because the person in town, like if they're leeching, they get free blood shards and XP and legendaries and keystones, and the people down in the rift get to kind of play lazy and not have to worry about saving that 10 seconds by like going to town early and stuff like that. So it is worth it. It's, you know, that adds up over the course of hundreds of hours. And now I guess if you're really min-maxing, you would want the full group clearing up to like the 90, 95% and then sending someone to town. But, you know, a lot of times what you'll have is like there's somebody who's, you know, they just want to chill and watch YouTube, so they'll sit in town and close rifts for people. Or, you know, someone's writing an email or, you know, working from home or doing something, and they can just sit there and close rifts for people, and it's a win-win for both sides. So just a tactic that I've seen some top players doing, so I wanted to go over why they're doing it and kind of how beneficial it is and break that down for you guys. I'm trying to theory craft on Diablo content to provide for you, because I know that's what the majority of my subscribers are here for. But right now it's kind of a slow time for the Diablo universe. Hopefully more things coming soon down the pipe, as we learned from Blizzard a few weeks ago. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.